Hello, everybody, and welcome to the first cigar review I've done in ages. If you have a look through the back catalogue of the channel, you'll see that I used to make these reviews semi-frequently. I want to get back on that. I want to get back to reviewing cigars. I want to get back to smoking more cigars, talking to them, talking to you guys about them. And today we have a cigar I've never tried before. They arrived the other day, made a little order, and I want to smoke through those as much as I can with you guys. That cigar I have right here. See that? It is the Buenaventura Picadores. Now this is a 5x50 robusto. It is, you can see, kind of half box pressed. It's like kind of oval shaped. This is a very cheap cigar for the UK market. At the time of recording, it is November 18th, 2024, and cigars are expensive, and are increasingly so compared to 3-4 years ago. They're so expensive. This, for the size, £9. £9 cigar. For a robusto, you must be thinking, what's been cut? So, with this cigar, it uses short and mixed filler. It is Nicaraguan. It's a Nicaraguan Puro. It uses only Nicaraguan filler, binder, and wrapper. But it uses mixed filler tobacco, which keeps the price low. Now, the long filler equivalent of this is called the BV500. I have one of those in my humidor. It is the exact same size, a 5x50. It looks very similar, except it's long filler. So, that's about £13 a cigar. So a £4 difference. You can buy a bundle of these, bundle of 10 for £90, which I think is brilliant. I bought 2 on my most recent order because you never know if I'm going to like them or not. So what we're going to do is we're going to cut this and we're going to light this. And we're going to hopefully have a nice smoking experience. I'm going to try and do a little bit of editing with this video. I'm going to record myself lighting and the first third, and then initial flavors. Then I'll come back probably halfway through the smoke, maybe just after the first third, and then going into the set, and then maybe again near the end, and try it like that. I don't want to make the video longer than 15 minutes realistically with editing and stuff, so we'll see. When I made my order, Smoke King, I ordered from Smoke King, by the way. Shout out to them. It came in within 2 days, was packaged well, and I bought like a gift tin of their cigars. The tin's very nice. When I do a review of their cigars later, I'll show you what they gave me a cutter with it. Very nice. So we'll just cut the cap off the cigar. I will say, not the best cutter in the world. It's just the closest one I have, but it's cut cleanly enough. I'm sure you can see. Slightly woody, pre-light draw. Good draw though. Pretty much perfect. With these mixed filler cigars, I smoke quite a lot of mixed filler, and I find they burn a bit quicker than a long filler generally. But besides that, they tend to be quite good. They tend to be quite good smokes. So, like well-made ones like this, I like a Nicaraguan cigar. So we'll light this up, and I will tell you how it goes. I'll tell you how the initial lighter. I've got a dual flame torch lighter on hand today. This is my first cigar of the day. I had a little miniature cigar earlier, but this is my first proper cigar of the day. take a first proper draw and I'll let you know what the flavour's like. It's reasonable. Right off the punch, we're getting some nuttiness. We're getting some good cedarwood flavour, which is good. Not a whole ton of spice, but a little bit. And it tastes alright. Let's take another draw. Yeah, that's a reasonable smoke so far. Obviously, I've just lit it up. We'll see how it changes. But it's always nice when you first light the cigar to see what the initial flavour is like. If the initial flavour is not very good, you might be in for a bad time. But decent initial flavour. Now, before I cut to me about a third in, a little bit of history about the company who produces these. So these are called Buenaventura. The company that produces them, and does it say? It doesn't even say on the band, is Curivari, spelled Curivari. They don't release a whole lot of information about their cigars, like the exact make of their cigars. They were European producers only, so they'd only sell to the European market. Obviously, the factory in Nicaragua, I believe. I don't know if they own their own factory, if they contract. They have a factory they contract to. They claim to be very within the Cuban tradition, but so are so many families that are in Nicaragua and Dominican Republic these days. But they do say on their they do say that they have this Cuban tradition. They're using Cuban seed tobacco and all that. And that they make Nicaraguan puros. So, and that for a long time, for about 3 or 4 years, when they first cropped up, they were only selling to the European market. This is 12, 13, 14 years ago, and then they get into the American market. What we have available in the UK market these days is the Picadores. It's a little bit of sweetness, a lot of smoke, good initial burn. We have the Picadores, which is their only short filler, mixed filler line in the UK. There is also the BV500, the BV560, and the BV600. I think the BV560 might be like kind of a Toro size. I don't know what the length is on it. I can't. The BV600 is a 6x60. The BV500 5x50, same size as this. I think the 560 might be a 5.5 or a 6x56. Then they also do the BV Mini, and I have 2 of those, which I will review one of them at some point. They do those both in a lighter Maduro. Now the Minis are long filler, they're 3.5 by 50. They do it in a Maduro and this kind of natural Habano, and they cost £6 a cigar. £6 for a long filler cigar. Now, yes, it's a short long filler cigar, but if the flavour on them is good, that's a really good value. You can buy a box of 20 for about 106 quid. I think I saw them at £110 or something like that. So there's a slight discount as well if you're buying a box of 20. If I like the Maduro, that might be a cigar I pick up a box of, because even though it's a short cigar, if it burns for a decent amount of time, that is nice. The issue with a lot of short filler cigars, they can find. Let me just have a sip of my drink here. Coke Zero and some rum. The issue with a lot of short filler cigars is they can kind of have a reasonably bland flavour. There's not a lot going on, and there's not enough complexity there. With this, however, there's at least 3 or 4 good flavours there. Nuttiness, woodiness, sweetness, a little bit of spice, all working together. For the price, the construction's quite good so far. You can't complain too much. You really can't complain too much. So if those minis, if this is what as their short filler offering, if this is their short filler offering and it's offering the flavour it is now, if their long filler offerings are offering more than that, and especially the mini, which is £3 cheaper, smaller cigar, like if this lasts me an hour smoke time, the mini's going to probably give me at 3.5, probably at least 35 to 40 minutes if it's long filler, which it is. So, 40 minutes of good quality smoke for £6 in the UK market, remember, is brilliant. And also, sometimes you don't always have time to have a 60 or 80-minute smoke, but you do have time for a 40-minute smoke. I know I find myself in situations like that quite often. Anyway, I'm going to see you again when we're at probably around here-ish on the cigar, when we're about a third to just above a half in. Let you know if any flavours have developed, if anything's changed, how it's burnt, how it's smoked, and I'll see you then. So we're back. We are about a third, just over a third, into the cigar so far, and I can say it's been a reasonably pleasant smoke, which is always good to have. In terms of flavours, more of the same, really. More of the same. Nuttiness, a very pronounced woodiness, very pronounced kind of cedarwood type flavours, kind of that light cedarwood type flavour. A little bit of nuttiness, a little bit of spice, kind of a black pepper spice. Broadly, though, it's been mostly the same. Just that spice is elevated a bit as we've got into the cigar, which you'd expect from a Nicaraguan cigar. We would expect from a Nicaraguan cigar. Is that spice. And you get that more on the retrohale, but it's been a reasonable smoke so far. For £9, I can't complain. I can't really. Now, obviously, you do have to kind of have a think, how much would this cost in Europe or America? Obviously, I say Europe broadly. When I say Europe, I mean Germany, Spain, Switzerland, Italy. Most countries in Europe have much cheaper tobacco than we do due to taxation in the UK. And America, obviously, the same. I would imagine a short filler stick like this. In America, you're probably looking at $1.50 to $3 a cigar. In Europe, you're probably looking at about €3 to €4 a cigar, and it would most certainly be worth it at that price. I'd have 20 bundles, other things. Probably not. I'd probably be smoking a lot more cigars, but probably a lot of different cigars, because I don't really enjoy smoking the same thing a lot. I very rarely buy boxes or bundles. And when I do buy them, it's because I do really enjoy that smoke, and I want to enjoy it more and more. I don't buy a box or a bundle of something just to smoke, or very rarely do I do that. I will buy a box or a bundle if I really enjoy that specific cigar. I think that's a good rule to live by. One rule I do disagree with, and I think a lot of cigar people actually support this, is buying two. If you buy a new cigar, buying two of them. People say this for a couple of reasons. One is obviously if you can get to have it twice and form a better opinion, and you definitely shouldn't form opinions on cigars based on just one. I've had a couple of bad Key d'Orsay's, Key d'Orsay 50s. I've had two bad ones. I've heard good things from many people about that cigar, and good things about the other Key d'Orsay line, other cigars in that line. I will go and try more Key d'Orsay 50s at some point. So even on two, I'm not going to judge a line, especially Cuban cigars. New World cigars, I think two or three does give you a good picture of if you like that cigar or not. A New World cigar I really didn't like last time I had it was the Perdomo 20th anniversary sun-grown box pressed. Did not enjoy that cigar whatsoever. Real big kind of spicy pepper bomb. Now, I will buy another one of those and smoke another one of those at some point, but it will not be a cigar that I'm going out to find right now, and it's not something I'm going to buy a box of. That said, I'm happy I only bought one at the time because I smoked it and I didn't enjoy it. And if I had a second one in my humidor, I probably would be very hesitant to quickly go towards it and try it again. It's on my mind. I know that cigar. I know I'm going to smoke another one at some point, but I don't have to have one in my humidor for that. Instead, I can have space in my humidor to have other cigars that I've not tried or cigars that I have tried before and enjoy. Um, and I think that's the long and short of it. It's fine to just buy one cigar, and especially in the UK with the prices, sometimes it is better to buy 10 of one cigar than buy five sets of two cigars. Um, you know what I mean? Like I did buy two Picadores, but these are £9 a cigar. The BV 500, I only bought one of them now. It's only a £4 difference, and I will likely enjoy the BV 500 if its flavour profile is anything similar to this. But that BV 500, I only bought one of. Now, if I enjoy that, I'll probably buy a couple more because they're reasonably cheap at £13. But I didn't want to spend £26 and not enjoy it. Now, yeah, that's only £8 more than two of these, but you expect with short filler for it to be a bit less quality. And so even if this was maybe half as good as it is now, and it was just okay, even then I would still be happy to have that in there as something maybe I could smoke on a walk, or maybe smoke outside a pub when it's windy and cold or whatever. But I'm happy that I bought two, but I would have been happy if I only bought one. There's a nice tobacco sweetness. There is, but there is definitely now, and we are about, I'd probably say we're getting close to halfway into the cigar. It is reasonably spicy. I think with a short filler cigar, especially Nicaraguan, spice is the name of the game. You expected a bit of that. Good black pepper though. It's a nice punch. Hits the back of the throat a little bit, but there's a nice tobacco sweetness, a nice woodiness, and a nice kind of lightly sweet nuttiness that rounds out the cigar, which is what all you can call for in a short filler. Construction wise, it's kind of what I expected from short filler. It's been burning fine. The ash fell off probably about 5 minutes ago. It was only about, you know, just over half an inch or so of ash, maybe just under an inch of ash. You can see it's not burning super well there. I've had to top it up once after I knocked the ash off. Besides that, I've had to top it up again. I do like the aesthetic of this cigar in its like minimalist design though. I think a lot of cigars these days can have very ornate, fancy bands, and they're quite nice, especially in the new world. But I do like the simplicity. Is it gonna focus? Block my face. It might not focus. You can kind of see it. The simplicity of the Buenaventura band. There is literally nothing on the band besides it's kind of a gold band with like some light raised little rivets on the band with kind of a dark red browny colour. Says Buenaventura in white letters. Pretty minimalist, but it's nice. It's just you're smoking a a minimalist cigar, but a nice cigar. So yeah, when we come back, so we're back at the very end of this Buenaventura. As you can see, construction at the end here has not been amazing. I'm going to take the band off before and I will be keeping this band in my band box. Band is off. See if I can give you a better look at the band. Oh. That did not focus. That's fine. And I am going to just give it a little top up. Camera. Has there been any major flavour changes? Not really. Again, to be expected of short filler. At the end here, I think there's been a pickup in strength. I felt that. As this is my first proper cigar of the day. I had a miniature earlier in the day, but besides that, nothing. Oh, I've lied. This is my second cigar of the day. I did have Castella Panatella this morning before I went to work. Had a miniature at work. This is the first long filler cigar I've had since yesterday morning. Yesterday morning, I had a short torpedo from Smoke King. I'll be reviewing either their Corona or Robusto. I might do both, but definitely one of the two. At the end here on this Picadores, though, it's been hit and miss. Some draws have been still quite nice, but some draws have been getting some very classic short filler downfalls on flavour. Now, with these cigars that are this cheap, that are using mixed filler, a lot of the time they're using tobacco that hasn't been aged as long. So the tobacco that they roll to make the long filler cigars is likely the same tobacco in this, but those long filler cigars are likely then set aside to age after being rolled. And they're probably aged longer, generally, than a short filler cigar. Now the problem is when you don't age tobacco long enough, this is with New Worlds and with Cuban cigars, you can get bitter and acrid flavours. Sometimes at the start of a cigar, you'd hope not, because then you're going to be in for a bad cigar. Certainly at the end. Now, the reason this happens, especially at the end, is because with a cigar, as you smoke through it, the oils on the cigar, the oils in the tobacco begin to build up. They build up behind the ash. They keep building up. And so that's why at the end of a cigar is the most intense, concentrated flavour. And a very similar concept to coffee. When we're brewing coffee, you're extracting as much flavour as possible. But especially with darker roasted coffees, if you extract too much, then you start getting the bad stuff out of the coffee. You extract the bad bits, or if you have really old stale coffee, you're extracting the worst bits out of the coffee. The same with cigars. If it's not aged long enough and it doesn't micro ferment and those bitter and acrid flavours don't have time to disappear naturally, they stay within the tobacco. And as you smoke through it, the oils build up, build up, build up, build up, and then you get to the end and you'll take a puff and you'll go, what was that? Why have I got this weird flavour? What that is a build-up of oils on tobacco that's a bit too young. And what's happened is those oils are built up, you've combusted it, taken it in, and there's a bitter, acrid, bad flavour. And it doesn't have to be just bitterness, you can get sourness and other flavours you don't really want in a cigar. And I'll be honest, I'm getting them here now at this point in the cigar. But I expect this. From a short filler cigar, I expect I'm not going to be burning my fingers because I want every last bit of the tobacco. There are some cigars, very good cigars, Cuban and non-Cuban cigars, that you'll smoke and the flavour will be so good. It'll be beautiful. And as you get to the end and you get the intense cacophony of flavours, it'll be even better, even greater than when you first lit it. A lot of people say the second third is the best bit of a cigar. I tend to agree. Second third of the cigar, you're past kind of the lighter beginning flavours, and you're not getting maybe worse bitter or acrid notes toward the ends that a lot of cigars do have. And that middle third is the sweet spot, the Goldilocks zone of cigars, you may say. You get there, and it's lovely. But with some cigars, that final third can be very nice, that big intense flavour. If you have a cigar that's sort of chocolate and coffee, or if you've got a cigar that's got loads of kind of citrus and zest in it, and it's like reasonably sweet, good tobacco flavour, and that's building up through the cigar, and it's a good aged tobacco, you'll get to the end here, and then you'll get a punch of great chocolate or great coffee or really nice citrusy flavours and good sweetness. But unfortunately, with cheaper cigars, with cigars that aren't super well aged, and with cigars that just use lower quality tobaccos, you do get, as with this one, a little bit of an acrid bitter taste at the end. How much of that acrid bitter taste do you get? Well, I'll be honest, a reasonable amount with this at the moment. And it's at that point you have to then decide, right, this cigar's going down, not smoking it anymore. Now what I'm doing when I puff through this cigar, I'm purging it, trying to get some of those flavours out, trying to puff some of those nasty flavours out of the cigar. Sometimes it works. It's good if you've set a cigar down for 20-30 minutes. Maybe you've been talking, maybe you had to go do something, you've come back and you've relit it to get kind of an ashier flavour out. With this acridness, it's not going to happen. It might be good for one extra puff. At this point, though, I think we're about there to put it down. That puff was quite nice after I purged it, but I think we're finished with that cigar now. Now that cigar's lasted me basically an hour, 55 minutes. Very good smoke time for a Robusto. That is short filler. Some short filler Robustos will burn very quickly, and you'll get 40 minutes out of them, maybe even less. Really good mixed filler Robustos of that size, you can get an hour 10 out of. With that, I think that's smack bang in the middle, 50 minutes to an hour of quality smoking time. And I think for £9 you can't complain too much. Was the flavour out of this world? No. It was decent flavour. Again, just to reiterate, we got some nuttiness, kind of not a specific nuttiness, just a general nuttiness. Some light wood that kind of developed to be a bit stronger, but a light wood, cedar. We also got some nice tobacco sweetness, a bit of black pepper in that middle and at the end, and a bit of white pepper at the start. And that stayed consistent throughout. I think for the price, for £9, you can't complain too much. Would I buy it again? Yeah, it might be something I will go back to time again, maybe pick one up, see if it's any better. Maybe it might be a good idea to buy some of these if you like a cheap bundled cigar, sit them down for a while, give them even just 6 to 12 months sat in a humidor to maybe get a bit of extra micro fermentation on them, sat in a nice environment. Maybe that will remove a bit of that acrid flavour, as it can do with many cigars. I think generally though, it's a quality cigar for the price. If you have 9 good Great British pounds, what you spend, and you go to buy a cigar, that's a reasonable one to buy. I think there are good options at that price point in the UK still. I think we've not been, outpriced yet at that price point, £9. I think it's a good, if it's a decent daily smoke, if you want to smoke every single day and you just want to buy, bundles and stuff, £9 a reasonable price. I think it's a good quality cigar. It's not amazing, decent quality, mixed filler, good smoke time, good price. I'd give it a solid 7 out of 10. 7 out of 10. Anyway, that was the Buenaventura Picadores from Curivara Cigars. £9, reasonable smoke. I will be attempting to upload more often. I'm going to try to do 2 to 3 times a week, perhaps. That might, depending on how stuff goes, might come down to maybe once or twice a week. But I want to try and get at least a couple of videos out every week and start reviewing cigars more, because I really enjoy it. I really enjoy smoking cigars. I really enjoy just talking to the camera and talking to people watching. And I hope everyone has a great day. I'm going to go to sleep probably now. It's quite late here. But I hope everyone has a great day tomorrow and a great start to the week. Cheers, folks.